Hey guys, this is Desmond here. I wanted to do a quick Storm of Ragnarok discussion. Just to let you guys know, I can't really go through every single card in the pack in any reasonable amount of time, but you will be seeing English translations and everything like that, so you're not gonna have to just trust me or any of that crap. I'm not gonna go through all the specific stuff. Just have to know there's gonna be an Asir and or Nordic archetype that we're gonna see, and the Asir is there's gonna be three polar gods, is what they are in Japanese. They're based on old Norse gods, and then the Nordic is the support for those cards. We got a new legendary 6 samurai. You got 3 symphonic warriors, and I don't know if that's gonna be just kind of standalone or it's gonna be different. More scrap, Karakuri, Blackwing, Sam's, Mist Valley, Watt, Spirit, and then you got so and so, whatever the duelist Liz cards are. So we got legendary 6 samurai, new that stuff. That's gonna be pretty exciting, and we got a lot of different individual cards I want to talk about. So let's get started. First off, we got our cluster pendulum, and when this card is normal summon, you can special summon pendulum tokens in defense position up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. So obviously, this card could be really nice for a deck that synchros a lot. If you've got one tuner on the field already and your opponent's got a lot of monsters, you summon this guy, and you've got enough level 1s to mod a sync by pretty much anything you want. And then, of course, it can also be used for tributes, so you might see this guy being played in some sort of revival of Monarchs. When we see Invers show up, you're going to see that being played. That's going to be really cool. And Doppel Warrior. When this card is special summoned from your graveyard, you can special summon, or when a monster is special summoned from your graveyard, you can special summon this card to your hand, from your hand. So I might see this in play pretty much anything that specials from the graveyard a lot, zombies, something like that. And when this guy goes away for a synchro summon, you get 2 more level 1 tokens. So essentially you get to use a level 2 in your synchros twice using this guy. Stardust Phantom basically just gets your Stardust back, makes him harder to kill. He's not really anything super exciting, but we'll see where he goes. Different Dimension Spirit. I am very interested to see where this card goes. You can remove and play 1 face-up monster you control to special summon this card from your hand. And here's where it gets interesting. During the next standby phase, return the monster you remove from play to special summon this card to the field. So you summon this guy, you sync him away, and during your next standby phase, you return the monster that you remove to special summon him and get this guy back. So that's really interesting. You got Top Runner, and he increases all your synchro monsters by 600 attack, but he's also a level 4 tuner, which we don't have a ton of yet. So that's really cool. You got Barrier Resonator. He is a level 1 Resonator monster, which is interesting. The previous ones have been level 3. And during either player's turn, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Select 1 face-up tuner monster you control, and that turn, that monster cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle from damages involved in that monster. So you've got any tuner that you really just don't want gone, you can use Barrier Resonator to protect it. So that's really nice. Symphonic Warriors. There's 3 of these. I really don't know how they're going to be played or not. Basically, their effects are all around how many cards are in your hand, changing things. They change things. And theoretically, I think you could probably sync for almost any synchro monster that doesn't require a specific name tuner in it, because there's one that can change type, one that can change attribute, and one that can change level. So you should be able to sync for anything other than, for example, Fabled Valkyries, which requires a Fabled tuner. You can't do that. But you could have Ancient Sacred Wyvern, which requires a light tuner, and you could make that happen with Mr. Symphonic Warrior Drums. something requires whatever, a Fiend tuner like Chaos King Archfiend. Symphonic Warrior Piano's got that handled. Let's go on to Magio Shelion. If your opponent has any spells or traps, this card can't be an attack target. And it's got Piercing too. So that's really nice. 2000 attack. We might see this in play in any water decks that people still play. Yaksha. This guy, I don't know. And I'll admit it if I'm wrong. I might be right, though. I think this guy is going to change Spirit decks. Like, he is a bouncer like no other, since you'll have him in your hand every turn, and he should be able to make Spirit decks good again. I don't know, though. We got Stardust Sparkle for getting your Stardust Dragon back, or I guess you can get back like Red Dragon Archfiend or anything, because it just says Dragon type Synchro Monster. We got Resonator Engine. Select 2 Resonator monsters in your graveyard, and you add 1 level 4 monster from your deck to your hand, and return the selected monsters from your graveyard to your deck. So, decks running Resonators, Fiends, whatever, you might see that in play. It's very interesting. It's a new kind of like draw engine for that deck. Token Easter. Destroy all token monsters you control, along with the number of cards on the field, up to the number of tokens destroyed by this effect. So, whatever. Say you just ditched 2 Dandelions and you got 4 tokens on the field. You activate Token Easter and you destroy all of them, but you get to destroy 4 cards. So that's pretty nice. I'm sure that some sort of token eating deck like Black Forest or whatever it is, that plant build that requires tokens, will probably be running it. Foolish Reincarnation. I am so excited about this card. And you have to remember that when someone picks their target for something in the graveyard, or for anything for that matter, they can't just retarget. So you have to call them on that if they try to. This card, you can select 1 card from your opponent's graveyard and shuffle it into their deck. You can interrupt Machina Fortress being summoned, you can interrupt a Monster Reborn, you can interrupt a Pot of Avarice, and the way you do that, say your opponent activates Pot of Avarice. They pick their 5 cards that they want to send back to their deck. You chain Foolish Reincarnation, send 1 of those cards back to their deck. Then Pot of Avarice is only targeting 4 cards, and it just goes straight to the graveyard without those other 4 cards going to their deck. And then, of course, Machina Fortress just send in their deck. Monster Reborn send the card they pick back into their deck, and they can't revive it. All that kind of stuff. I am going to be definitely running 3 of these in my side deck, personally, if it's reasonably priced. And Marion Matter, this is for those of us who still play equip spells. It's not me, but return 3 equip spells to your deck and either draw 1 card or destroy 1 card. So that's pretty interesting. Forbidden Holy Lance. We reduce the attack of 1 face-up monster by 800, but it's unaffected by the effects of spells and traps. This is kind of versatile. You could use it for the extra 800 that you need to destroy a monster. Like, for example, and it's a quick play too, so you can use it as a chain to something else. Like, whatever. Use Stardust and attack your opponent's life points, and they chain Dimensional Prison. Chain Forbidden Holy Lance to that. Reduce your Stardust attack by 800, and then the Dimensional Prison can't hit it. So, I definitely see this being played in some deck. I just don't know who's going to be playing it, who isn't. Terminal World. I am actually not excited about this card. This is one of the new cards that I am just not very excited about. You activate only during main phase 1, and while it's on the field, both players skip their main phase 2. I am positive that there is someone who's going to figure out how to use this to their advantage, because that's the case with pretty much every card in game. But I just don't know how. So, more power to you if you figure it out. Hope for an Escape. I'm also not very excited about this. You have to have at least a 1,000 discrepancy in your life points between you and your opponent, and you have to be the losing side. And then you pay 1,000 life points and draw 1 card for every 2,000 life points of difference between you and your opponent's life. So, worst case scenario, you draw 1 card. But the thing is, if you're already losing by 1,000 life points, you don't want to pay another 1,000 to draw 1 card. I don't think I'd be running it over anything else like Jar of Greed or something like that if you just want draw power. Zero Force, I was very interested in this. Activate when a face-up monster you control is removed from play. The attack of all face-up monsters on the field becomes 0. So if your opponent like clears your field for your remove, then you can activate Zero Force and reduce all their monsters' attack to 0. Yours as well, of course. But that should hold you over for a turn. I don't know. I probably just run Wapaku or Threatening Roar or something like that. But it's interesting. Apple of Frigg. This card essentially functions the way Gore's did. When you take battle damage, while you control no monsters, you can activate this card. You gain life points equal to the battle damage you took, so that's a difference. And then you special summon 1 Wicked Spirit token, and its attack and defense are equal to the life points you gain from this card's effect. So whatever, your opponent attacks you directly for 25. You take the 25, and then you gain 25. So it's like you took 0, and then you summon a level 1 token with 25 attack. And this, of course, has its trade-offs with Gore's. It has to be on the field, but without the Heavy Storm in this format, it shouldn't be as hard to keep it on the field, although Giant Trunade, of course, is always going to be a big problem, and lucky MST hits and stuff like that are going to be a problem you'll have. But I think it's interesting. People will definitely be running it. I just don't know who. Rampage Bite. All attack position token monsters you control gain 1,000 attack and cannot be destroyed by battle. So you might use that in combination with your Apple of Frigg, whatever. Of course, that's scapegoat tokens on the card, but I don't think that's necessarily what you would use it for. Zing Zang Hu Replica. If any of you remember Zing Zang Hu, it just prevent your opponent from activating 2 set spells, and it was kind of nice. This one only prevents your opponent from activating 1 set spell or trap, but nothing can be chained to its activation. So I guess it would be interesting, like, keep your opponent from chaining like a Wabaku or a Threatening Roar or something, because it's not really destroyed. So it's interesting. Tyrant's Insult. Tribute 2 monsters, and neither player can activate the effects of effect monsters that activate on the field or in the hand. I don't know. Normal monsters might play this and really shut a lot of people down. Curse of Statue. This is another one of those standard traps that's treated as a monster. But while it's on the field, if a different trap card you control that is treated as a monster battles with an opponent's monster, you destroy the opponent's monster after damage calculation. And then we got our companion right here, Soul of Statue. After activation, special summon this card, blah blah blah. It's a monster. When another trap card you control is treated as a monster is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or by card effect, and would be sent to your graveyard, you can set it in your spell and trap card zone instead. So essentially, if your other trap card is destroyed, you can just flip it over instead and flip it back over at the end of the turn. And that's it for Storm of Ragnarok. I am really excited for, if I can find it again, our Foolish Reincarnation. I really want these, so when it comes out, you'll be seeing me looking for them. But I'm sure there's something in this for everyone. Go ahead and I'll put a link to this right here. It's actually a complete list of the confirmed Storm of Ragnarok stuff. And if you didn't already know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia, it is an amazing place to be. Sorry for this really lengthy video. I wanted to talk about Storm of Ragnarok in deeper depth. I was sick of all those like preview videos where it's just like a slideshow of the cards in Japanese. So hope you guys enjoyed this. And this is Desmond, and I will see you guys later. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff.